Today my topic is the Syrian refugees in Turkey. First of all, Turkey has accepted the largest Syrian refugee population in comparison to any other country, including the Middle East and North African countries. There are 3.6 million Syrians living as war refugees in Turkey. In my experience researching minorities at risk in the Middle East, governments dealing with mass migration often overlook the particular challenges facing the most vulnerable refugees, that is to say, women, children, and most of the time the LGBT community. So the Syrian refugees in Turkey are majorly Sunni Muslims. They are of the same faith that predominates in both Turkey and Syria. However, Syrians are ethnically and linguistically different than obviously the Turks. 75% of the refugees are women and children. So between 2011 and 2017, more than 224,000 babies were born in Turkey to Syrian refugee families. Those children are now stateless, granted neither Turkish nor Syrian citizenship at birth. The Syrian women refugees suffer more discrimination and racism in Turkey than their male counterparts due to a big gap in Turkish language acquisition. So 20% of Syrian refugee women complained that lack of language causes exclusion and discrimination. The women feel secure compared to obviously being in war-torn Syria. They also are safer than being in a refugee camp along the Turkish-Syrian borders, where rape, human trafficking, prostitution, and child marriages have all been common practices in those communities. Half of all Syrian female refugees were under the age of 18 when they were displaced across the Turkish border. So this gives you an idea about the suffering of the women and the children. I will switch to the LGBT community. Even though it is not as numerous, and even, although Turkey does not criminalize homosexuality, it is not always safe for LGBT Syrian refugees either. Gay Syrians have suffered physical and verbal attacks, often with little response from law enforcement or the government. In August of 2016, Mohammed Wissam Sankari was found mutilated and killed in Istanbul, 2 days after he went missing. Sankari had told police he feared for his life after having previously been abducted, tortured, and raped by unknown attackers, according to the reports. Also in August of 2019, a transgender Syrian woman named Ward told the Guardian newspaper that she feared being deported to the Turkey-Syria border because of al-Nusra terrorist group, a branch of al-Qaeda, with 5,000 to 10,000 fighters in Western Syria, for the reasons simply and basically that they would kill her. Ward was deported days later. She was last to be seen in August of 2019. She was forced into the trunk of a car by militants in Syria um, according again to The Guardian. The Syrian refugees are being used as a as a pawn for political gains, uh, turning more vulnerable people into collateral damage for a greater geopolitical war. They are used by Erdogan, especially as he faces legitimacy crises on the domestic level. Therefore, every once in a while, he says, so we're going to deport those Syrian refugees and return them to the borders. Well, in that case, once we all hear that, those are the groups that really make up the majority of the refugees. And those are whether we talk about the women, children, the small minority of LGBT people, those are the ones really at high risk when we hear that. And he's saying that basically because the Turkish population has become intolerant and basically they don't want the Syrians especially in Istanbul anymore. And therefore, to gain political, good position or to better his popularity, he basically claims every once in a while that he would like to return those refugees to the Syrian border. Thank you. That's it.